everyone. So, this is an HK P30. This isn't my gun. This is a gun that I'm holding on to for someone. But I wanted to do a quick video while I had it because it is one of my favorite pistols and I just haven't bought one yet. So, we'll do a quick rundown of this gun. So, this is an early generation HK P30 in 9mm. This is the variant 3, I think they call it. The numbering is weird, but this is the double action, single action with the decocker on the back, which is so cool. It's actually really convenient. You can decock just intuitively. It is ambidextrous. This gun is fully ambi. We'll start at the bottom of the gun. We'll work our way up top just because we need to have some kind of logical progression. And I'm going to compare it to my HK USP Compact and my HK 45C. So these are both my guns. I'm very familiar with both these guns. They make me happy. They're awesome. And I want this one too. So, and the guy I'm holding on to knows that I might not give this back. Anyway, so magazine capacity in this gun is 15 rounds. Nowadays they have 17 in the same size gun. This gun has the coolest feature of any semi-automatic pistol grip, and that is the ability to change out the back straps and the side panels. The P30 started this, the VP9 is continuing it. It does have finger grooves in the front. Grip is outstanding, and not only that, but with the medium grip panels installed, you have a really good, really narrow back of the gun, which gives you a really good reach to the trigger and gives you the ability to modulate it really, really well so that you can change your control on the trigger. The result of this is the grip is incredibly intuitive, confidence-inspiring, but also not too aggressive because you have these little finger grooves in here, so you really feel like it's easy to hold on to vertically, so you can suck the gun down, get a really high grip on the gun. Seriously, like, I know I talk about other grips, and the CZ75 has a great grip, and the Walther P99, which is very similar in feel to this, has a great grip. This one is better, in my opinion. The Walther might be a really good contender, and it might be down to personal hand size, but for me personally, I think this one kind of beats them. Compared to, I'm actually going to take a round out of the chamber of this because I shouldn't be holding this with a round in the chamber. This HK USP Compact, the grip is very good and very USP-like in that it's kind of square. You can hold on to it. You don't have those grooves. Now, the grip on the USP, let me see if I can show you in the camera, is shorter than the grip on the P30, USP P30. But the USP has 13 rounds in the magazine. This has 15 or 17. Speaking of magazines, this one, being a 15-round magazine, will fit and work with the USP Compact. Not the full-size USP, only the Compact, and the P30. So, I'm sorry, and the P2000 and the USP Compact both use the same magazine locking design as the P30. They work fine, and the VP9 will work in here. That's kind of cool. So, I like that. Now, my gun is a 15-round gun, or 17. The magazine release on the P30 is a large paddle. It's different than the paddle on the USP Compact. Different in design. It doesn't wrap all the way around the bottom of the grip, whereas USP Compact does. But it's a really good magazine design. Now, Important point, it does not sit flush with the trigger guard unless there's a magazine in place. So right here it's actually protruding upward a little bit. It's not very comfortable if you're going to dry fire this and the magazine is out of the gun. You can feel it rubbing a little more on that magazine release versus if you put a magazine in, it kind of flushes it up with that trigger guard and feels a lot better. We're going to talk about the trigger at the end of this, even though we're going bottom to top. Slide release is really good, really large on both sides, and stays out of the way for me when I'm shooting. Even if I'm doing a full double hand grip, it just doesn't interfere at all. It is, in my opinion, perfect, and it doesn't it rattles a little, not as much as my HK 45. Barrel, slide, they're all good. You do have forward slide serrations, which I like. I believe you can have this milled for an optic. I'm not so sure. I've seen one of these milled for an optic. I don't know if you're allowed to keep that rear sight or not based on where you have to mill it. But it's a great gun. You do have a 1913 rail on the bottom of here, which means you can mount everything you would ever want to mount to a pistol light, of a pistol light or a laser. You can put a TLR3 really easily on here. You can put a TLR1, which I'm not going to show you, but does totally fit on here. And it works really well. The sights are identical to the sights on the VP9 and the HK 45. The cheap ones, this is the luminescent paint, which is mediocre. The dot setup works great for my eyes, but I tend to prefer to change to the 1080 Performance rear sight on the HK 45. And that is just the drop-in replacement. Easy to go. And the gun shoots great. It has a standard barrel on here. There's no O-ring on the barrel. Takedown is really simple. You pull it back quite a bit, actually, and then you pop the, I'm sorry you can't see it in frame, you pull back quite a bit. The slide lock pops out part way, and then you can pull the slide off like so, or thusly. It looks interior, it looks the same inside to like any other H&K. And I love this gun. Not as easy to take down as the 45, and that's fine. I have a little bit of shooting footage of this, including a cold first shot with the double action. And this gun, for some reason, I shoot this gun in double action very, very well. Okay. So how can we talk about the trigger on this P30 without hurting some fanboy feelings? Okay. Let's make sure everything here is unloaded. So, P30, USP Compact, HK 45C, slightly out of frame, that's fine. Double action, single action, double action, single action, decocker only, decocker and safety, LEM, light LEM. So, first off, P30. Smooth, good travel. Double action has a no discernible wall. It does kind of stack at the end, but it doesn't have a wall. And then it breaks. Feels good. I actually like shooting this gun in double action quite a bit. Double action on the USP Compact. And make sure I'm empty. Okay. A little bit more take up at that first bit. P30 has less take up. USP Compact feels like it has more. Now, these are all stock triggers, by the way. USP Compact, take up, heavier, significantly heavier, and brakes at the back. Doesn't stack as much at the very tail end, but is kind of heavier throughout. Definitely heavier than the P30. P30 is lighter in double action. HK USP Compact is significantly heavier. Double action in the HK 45C is hard to quantify, so there. I just put it into double action mode, which you would never actually happen. This would never happen when you're shooting the gun with the LEM trigger, but I promise it's the same trigger spring and everything. A lot more similar to the USP Compact than the P30. A little shorter of an overall travel, too. I don't know if that's because of the LEM trigger or what. Okay. Single action. The trigger brake. There's two parts of single action. This is we'll talk about the trigger brake. So, lots of trigger travel right up until the brake point. Whole bunch of it. And that's okay. That's not a problem. I have an LEM for that matter. Whole bunch of trigger travel right up until a wall. Okay, let me do that again. I'm applying pressure, adding up pressure, adding up pressure. A little bit of creep right at the very end before the brake. Brake happens, and then you know that it happened. Okay. Single action on the USP Compact. Oh, important point. Not really important point. Mild point. The USP Compact, you can't really thumb... You aren't supposed to be able to thumb the hammer. You totally can. In this gun, you don't need to change out the bobbed hammer on here. It's much, much easier to thumb the hammer on the P30. Okay. USP Compact. Light take up to a very defined wall. Adding pressure, adding pressure, adding pressure, adding pressure. Brake. Maybe a hair heavier than the P30. Maybe not. Really close. Slightly cleaner brake on the USP Compact. HK 45 LEM. Lots of trigger travel. That's part of the LEM. Get to that defined wall. Best of the bunch. I think that this gun also has the most rounds of both of these. Kind of by a long shot, and this is the best. This one is definitely really good in that single action. And I know because I have measured this. This is just under 5 pounds. This is like 4 3/4 pounds single action. These are, I think this one's 5, and this one feels like 5.5, maybe 6 in single action. Okay, now this is the part that's going to make people mad. Trigger reset on the P30. Are you ready? I'm gonna do this with my other finger just so you can see how biased I am against this. Okay, ready? Ah! Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna let go just to show you that's so it's now reset. Let's let go and see how far. Okay, so you're the whole single action pull. You have to let out. Yeah. USP Compact reset. Let's do this again so you can see kind of how this is going. Okay. Go. Okay, so it's the whole single action pull, but the whole single action pull is a much nicer place to be than the P30. Sorry about the shadows. Okay. And then the reset on the 45C. Again, I'll show you guys. This one has a false reset that I can only figure out when I can only have happen when I'm... There we go. That's the real. Yep. Okay. So worst reset, runner-up, best reset. So let's get the 45C out of here. 9mm H&K carry size pistols, and this is totally a carry size pistol, by the way, despite the fact that it's a full grip, kind of halfway between a Glock 17 and Glock 19. I would totally concealed carry this. In my state, if I could have a 15 or 17 round magazine. And actually, that's an important point. I almost never carry the USP Compact. I do sometimes because I shoot it very well. But this is a 13 round magazine. Even if I have to carry 10 rounds, I feel confident that I can hit what I'm aiming at with this gun. It's a chunky gun. It's got a lot of reliability. I've had one failure with it, and that was totally ammo related, and I'm okay with it. I've shot it a lot, really recently at the range. It's doing well. Still totally trust this. From a trust aspect, I totally trust the P30, and even with the mediocre, poor single action trigger in this gun, I would carry this every day. Every day if I could. I love this gun. But it's not mine. So, when it comes to well-aimed fire in the hands of an expert, I bet you could get better performance out of the USP Compact than you could the P30. That said, the P30 is a very, very good gun.
I hit that. Yeah, cool. Yep. Hit it. Sweet.
Because I'm living in a capacity limited state, that's the winner. HK 45C. 8 rounds in the magazine, 1 in the chamber, 9. I don't get in trouble with the law if I accidentally put a larger magazine than I'm supposed to have. Same size as the P30, definitely heavier, but same size dimensionally. In fact, I think they fit in a lot of the same holsters, not identical, because you have a different trigger guard over here on the 45C. This is a USP Compact holster for the, it's a Galco USP Compact holster. Granted, this is a leather holster, and leather holsters are not great, but fits USP Compact perfectly. Fits the 45C pretty damn well. Look at that! like the nose is sticking out a little bit, but it would be fine. This would work perfect. Anyway. Stay safe out there, everyone. Whatever you choose, there's a lot of good choices. Just know what you can do with each of these pistols. Stay safe out there. See ya.